Welcome to Retaliatory Strike. Today we have a game between Ryan, myself playing Cygnar, and Chris playing Cryx.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm playing Deneghra 2, one of my all-time favorite casters, in Dark Host, one of my favorite themes, because Banes are awesome. And so to simplify that, I'm playing a lot of Banes. I got 2 max units of Bane Warriors, I got a max unit of Bane Knights, I got Tartarus, and as a result I don't have much of a battle group for Deneghra, even though she's often considered a battle group caster. There is a Stalker there, which isn't showing up for some reason, but so she's got the 3 lights in her battle group, and Dr. Stygius, because he's strictly better than a Scarlock Thrall. There's Gurglepox, because if you're bringing a lot of lights, it's nice to just give him dodge, and she also likes to have a few channelers for Hellmouth and whatnot. And avoid Archeon, because you need to vary up your threat ranges a little bit, because Banes are slow.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. Today I have a Nemo 1 list in Storm Division. It's 75 points with requisitions. For his battle group, I have a Centurion, a Hammersmith, Lancer, Minuteman, and a Squire attached to him. I have Captain Arlan Strangeways, Grandmaster Gabriel Throne, a Journyman Warcaster, marshalling a Sentinel, Catherine Laddermore, and a Stormblade Captain for solos. I have a minimum unit of lances for units and a Stormstrider battle engine. Deployment. So we rolled off and Chris won and decided to go first. I picked side. For terrain, in the top right hand corner we have rough terrain. In the middle of the zone there we have water. In the middle of the board is a forest, and then 2 houses and a wall, and bottom left hand side is some more water. So Chris, for your deployment.
So I've got a lot of bodies in my list, so I started a little early before Ryan was quite ready, but I got throwing warriors. I'm flank on a unit on each flank. On the bottom there's a house in the way, so I can sort of keep them safe with that. On the top I'm going to set up the clouds basically on that rough terrain, but there's still not a lot of cover. Those clouds are only 20 inches up, or well, less than 18 for what I did with them. But so I'm going to use the unit of Bane Knights to screen for them. I'm going to spread out some arc nodes, because Denny's got some dangerous spells to sling out. I'm going to throw the Void Archon on the bottom end, mostly because of the house. I think I can use the house to keep it safe, and if I can kill something and then teleport behind the house, that's always annoying to deal with. I'm gonna spread out some machine wraiths, because they are really all I have for dealing with the Lancer and the Centurion, because being unable to charge a Centurion is pretty annoying, and set defense on Lancers means Banes have a really hard time killing it. They're also really good at just holding flags and contesting, because Ryan's list, while he can give out magic weapons, he doesn't have a lot of it natively, so I can sort of run through his models. And of course Deneghra and on her feet turn, the Banes can just do that all the time, because Parry and Ghostly are really nice rules to have. The Scavenger I'm going to try to keep in the middle, because with Damnation I can let it see through the forest, and it can sprint in behind and be fairly safe. And the Stalker is going to go at the bottom, because I can put him behind a wall, which is nice.
For my deployment, I'm putting Nemo in the middle to walk up the middle, a Hammersmith beside him, and Centurion on the other side. After that, I put the Lancer up in the top zone there to go and help contest that zone and possibly score it if I can ever clear out all the Banes from there. I put Laddermore and all the Lances and Storm Captain on the bottom. Laddermore is dismounted. Laddermore is pretending to be a flag for us. And then I also put Gabriel Throne down there with them to help support. I put the Journyman Warcaster right in beside the Centurion to put out Arcane Shield, and I put Arlan Strangeways there to be able to power him up, and then I put the Storm Strider at the top to help to deal with Banes up there, and then I have I put the Minuteman across from the Stalker, which turns out to be a mistake, but I wanted him to potentially fight him.
Cryx, turn 1. Alright, so Banes are slow, so we're going to do a lot of running this turn. I gotta get them up the table because they're going to do all the work, and Ryan's list threats quite a bit further with all the guns and horses and whatnot. I'm moving the Stalker up behind the wall, and I'm measuring to see that the Minuteman, while he can get at me, he'll need to spend at least 3 focus to maybe get around the wall, and Def 19 with cover is pretty good. And then the Warriors are just going to run. At the top, the Knights are going to form little triangles so that they're getting the most benefit out of Wall of Steel. I'm not going to run that unit in behind them because they're slow. The Warriors are going to use the clouds to protect themselves instead. And I'm going to form little bubbles around the flags to help keep that tough going. Deneghra is just going to run up because she doesn't have any friendly spells, and I like to threaten quite a bit with that Dark Banishment. The Void Archon's actually going to slide over because I don't want it to be dueling the Storm Lances. And yeah, just a lot of running up. For the most part, I'm going to keep the Machine Wraiths in behind the army because Ryan can give out magic weapons, and I want to sort of save them. They're also a little faster than most of the army, so they can get where they want.
Cygnar, turn 1. So for my turn here, I'm looking to see if there's anything that I can shoot at. There isn't, so I ask him about his guns himself. He only has the 1 spray, so I don't need deceleration up. So I am looking to see what Nemo can do, and if I use all 7 of my focus to increase his control range, how far out it would be, and I can literally hit the entire board. So I decide to pull 2 back so he can camp 2, and then I run him up behind the objective there. Then I run up the Squire behind him to stay within 5, move the Minuteman up behind the house to hopefully come out and fight some Banes next turn. I run the Lancer up into the top zone, and then I run the Storm Strider up behind it and get 1 token from it. After that, I use the Journeyman to put Arcane Shield on the Centurion and used Arlan to give him an additional focus, giving Nemo 2 tokens. And then I run up the Hammersmith in the middle there and move up the Sentinel to shield guard if it's ever necessary. After that, I find out the threat range of the Stalker and just run up that bottom unit of Storm Lances, Laddermore, and the Stormblade Caprain to stay out of that threat range.
Cryx, turn 2. Alright, so that Deathripper at the top there is out of control, so I'm seeing what I can do with Damnation, letting him charge for free. He can't get on the Lancer, not that he'd be effective in any way, shape, or form, but it's just good to know your options. We're gonna do some measuring here. I'm gonna see that if I can get the Bane Warrior to get Dark Shroud on that Minuteman, and I'm measuring over the house, and Ryan's cleverly built them so he can take the roof off, and he decides that he'll let me do it. It's pretty close anyway. So I'm gonna start off by running that unit forward. I'm gonna be smart this time and actually leave myself a path so the Stalker can get through. It threats a long ways, so I'm not worried about whether it can get in range of the Minuteman, but if I position badly, I can make it so I can't, which would be bad. I'm going to run everything up at the top. The Knights go first because now I want to start spreading out my Warriors up there, so that the Knights can do their screening job. They are a bit harder to kill. I'm still forming nice little triangles and keeping that wall of steel everywhere. And the Warriors are gonna knock my clouds around and just sort of spread out. Everybody's in command up there because flags are awesome. The Scavenger is gonna run up behind that forest, be ready to threaten, and his sprint to safety or do whatever he needs to do. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with most of these solos, so I'm just sort of running a few of the machine wraiths. I do forget that Nemo has a magic gun, so I run one up to maybe limit where he can put that Centurion, and of course just give him a nice target to shoot, because it's important to let everybody play the game. Importantly, Stygius can get a Breath Stealer onto that Hammersmith, which will limit his mobility a little bit. And Deneghra is gonna walk up. I think about casting a few different spells, but ultimately I don't think anything's worth it. I do want her to slide over so I can get that Deathripper back in control. So maybe if I want to run it in behind his stuff next turn, because they are very speedy, I can threaten to do that. But I am aware that he's probably going to feat this turn and might just blow my Arc Nodes out. So it's not 100% committed. The Void Archon's going to move up, get ready to steal some Stormlance souls, and then the Scavenger's going to go. And he's going to just nuke this Minuteman off the table to the box. So thanks, Ryan.
Cygnar, turn 2. So for my turn here, the first thing that I'm looking at really is getting the Hammersmith to Deneghra possibly. So I have my objective, give him Pathfinder. I had 3 tokens that turn, so I go up to 10 focus on Nemo, and then I take one from the Squire, making him 11 focus this turn. All my jacks power up, and I am deciding who to give focus to this turn. So Deneghra's just out. If I locomotion the Hammersmith forward and charge at her, I can't quite get her in. But between beatback, I think that I might be able to get a Hammersmith on there. So I give him 3 focus. With overcharge on Nemo, I can have them up to 4 focus, which makes us a little bit more credible of a threat. So I'm just looking here to see if I can get there, and I can if I'm charging the Machine Wraith. So he's fully loaded, and I give 1 to the Centurion, and then he goes first, and he feats, so he catches all of the jacks in his feet, and he boosts damage onto most of them except for the top Deathripper, and I do a good chunk of damage here, and they're all disrupted now, which is good. And then I leave them on 3 focus to locomotion forward. So there's a Machine Wraith behind the house, so he aims, shoots at that, hits it, kills him, and the Bane Warrior that he used to Dark Shroud my Minuteman was in the blast. I don't end up breaking armor on that, so then I just locomotion forward, and I'm looking at Arlan there. He can walk up and give magic weapons to the Hammersmith, so at this point now I can actually kill that Machine Wraith. I wasn't planning on it at first. So I go to my Storm Captain down at the bottom and charge his Stalker. I miss my assault shot, but kill him with my charge attack. And then forgot quick work, but that's okay. After that, I went to Throne, and I was looking to see if I could get Stir the Blood onto the lances, and I was trying to work it out, and then I went, they don't really need Stir the Blood, so he gave it to himself, charged the one Bane. I attacked another one, and with Stir the Blood, it's POW 14, kills him, he doesn't tough. His charge attack kills him, he doesn't tough. And then I use my 3-inch repo to move back a little bit. From there, I'm looking to see what Laddermore can get to, and I can't really charge anything and get a bunch of extra lightning leaps in, so I decide to just walk her up 8 inches, shoot at the Bane in front of the wall there, hit him. It bounces to the one just behind the house. I kill him with my shot, and then the Electro Leap doesn't break armor, and I move up 3 inches. From there, I start moving in with my Storm Lances. So 2 of them actually complete charges, and 1 of them charges and fails a charge but gets the assault shot. There. And then with Tactician, I can see through that guy to charge in where I want. So he charges up, and I end up killing all the Banes with my assault shots, and he doesn't tough at all, so I don't get to make any actual charge attacks. So they just repo forward. I'm trying to make it a little bit more difficult for them to get into maybe the back lance that couldn't repo. After that, I move up the Sentinel there, and he is shooting at those Bane Warriors there. So he rolls up 3 shots. He ends up killing both of them, which is good, because they were possibly going to get free strikes into the Hammersmith. I didn't actually look. I walk up my Lancer to try to kill some Bane Knights. So I hit with the shield, don't break armor, miss with the spear, hit, and kill 1 Knight with my Lancer. So it was a really exciting activation. After that, I move up my Stormstrider. I figured I'm going to go for this assassination to within 10 of Deneghra. I roll up 2 tokens, maxing them out. I shoot at Deneghra. I boost and hit and boost damage because it's straight dice. And then I don't kill anything with the leaps. And then I boost and hit and roll an 8, which he fades to 3. So I end up leaving him on 7 boxes here. 6 boxes here. And then I have the Journeyman walk up and shoot that Bane that's on my side of the house, kill him. My Centurion can't get anywhere, so he puts up Polarity Shield and then just runs up behind that house there to hopefully get in the way of stuff. And then I charge in the Hammersmith, so I pay 1 to charge, so he's on 3 now. I hit the Machine Wraith and he pastes them because it's a charge attack. And then I boost to hit my next initial onto the Scavenger. And I hit, and I need to roll less than 6 to not kill him so I can get the beat back. And I just kill him outright. And I'm about 2 millimeters out of being able to hit Deneghra, which is great. And that is pretty much my turn. Just moving Squire.
Cryx, turn 3. Alright, so one of the things about Deneghra 2 is if you ever get within 15 inches of her with your caster, you might just be dead. And Nemo is not renowned for being durable, and he's very much within 15 inches of my caster, who fortunately survived. I did get lucky on a few things, but so now I'm gonna shovel Nemo out of there. I'm gonna go incorporeal so I don't care about the terrain. I'm going to shadow step to the side so I can see him, and I'm gonna charge him and breath stealer him and bap him with my bapping stick. And he's gonna not be a happy camper out in facing away from a bunch of Banes in his back. So I'm gonna feat to get a couple Banes. I'm gonna ask Ryan if he's alright with me trying a couple things out, or if he wants me to just finish him. But he's a good sport about it, so I charge Tartarus into a Hammersmith, and then I'm going to charge Gurglepox into the Hammersmith, because Gurglepox is a weapon master against constructs, which is kind of fun. So I get my impact attack with 3 dice damage, I get my charge with 4 dice damage, and I'm a little disappointed. I kind of expected to do more into that Hammersmith, but this is why we test things out. I feeded on a couple of the Bane Warriors in that bottom unit so that I can move through his Storm Lances with kind of impunity. Just line up charges where I want. They have Ghostly, so even if he had magic weapons, I wouldn't really care all that much. And I didn't realize that that Incorporeal didn't actually let you see through models. I thought it was like flight, so there was a charge that I couldn't have actually made, but that's okay. We just cheat a little bit, and Ryan was fine with it. So I'm gonna have my officer do nothing to that one. My officer was not impressive this game. I'm going to put a couple souls on the Void Archon, and I'm going to Voidbringer to bring back 3 of the warriors just in case. And then the Archon's going to move over. I'm going to lay down a spray, and even though I hit a couple of my warriors, like I said, we're just sort of playing around here. Nemo's almost certainly dead. And I actually rolled double ones, so I miss, but I do kill one of them. So I'm 0 for 9 on my tough checks this game. And then because I kill his Stormlance, the Archon gets the soul back and gets to teleport over to beat up on Laddermore, and manages to take the buff out of her paint, but she doesn't do a whole lot there. And then I activate the warriors in top unit. I just move so I can charge Nemo, and one warrior nukes him.
Afterthoughts. So some afterthoughts for this game. Thinking about it, I definitely should have feeded turn 1 and disrupted all of his jacks, just to make it a little bit harder for him to get at my stuff at all. I also think I shouldn't have boosted onto the Scavenger, because then I would have had a less likely chance of killing it with my initial attack and messing up my beat back into Deneghra. But other than that, I think I played the game pretty all right overall. Is there any, other than forgetting, he told me he's playing Deneghra, and I looked at Deneghra 1's card and I went, oh cool, you're not playing the Deneghra with the Dark Banishment, and then you charged my caster and Dark Banishmented him away, and I was sad. What about yourself? Is there anything you think that you could have done better? Or?
No, I definitely needed to be a little more particular with my placement on the solos. I did just sort of feed you a couple of them. If I had been smarter, I wouldn't have had to move Deneghra up quite as far and risk dying via Hammersmith to the face. But I did want to get that other Deathripper in my control. I love Deneghra too. She's so much fun.
I mean, if you didn't move her up, I probably would have been out of the 15 inches and survived another turn and could have just done a bunch of attrition. I think if I'd moved the Stormstrider back and just did attrition work into all your Banes at the top there, and tried to attrition a little bit more, I might have been in a better spot too. But it was too juicy of a target, seeing your Deneghra and being able to get a 4 focus Hammersmith at her to just leave her.
Sometimes you gotta wave a nice juicy steak at your opponent and bait them into throwing attacks at a caster that's not getting work on anything else. One thing I definitely need to do better is just make tough checks. Going 0
Yeah.
for 9.
Tough is a great rule when you can roll tough checks. It's so frustrating when they pass all their tough checks and it feels like a broken rule, but then there's the games where you don't roll any tough checks and it feels like a wasted rule. So,
Yeah.
but
Good thing we weren't on clock, because that's all it was doing, was giving you some more time. Yeah, it was. Just roll better in general. That's generally a good strategy in this game. But,
game's easy when you roll nothing but boxcars.
Yeah.
Haven't played against Cryx in a couple months here, and I forgot how frustrating ghostly incorporeal models are. That's just, they ignore all of your defensive tech to not just walk up and kill your caster, which is always frustrating.
Kador and Mercs models definitely don't have as many rules, and especially not movement shenanigans in the same way.
Yeah. Other than that, if you have any last points?
No. I think you played that well. It was going to be a rough matchup for you, just the volume of models I had and how hard they hit, but I think you played well.
Yeah. Well, this has been Retaliatory Strike. Thanks for watching.